I should have known something was off the moment we walked into the party. Madison had been acting strange for weeks, always on her phone, working late, showering the second she got home. But this was a new low. The birthday party for her father was held at some overpriced steakhouse. One of those places where the servers all wear vests and pretend they actually give a damn about your life. Madison was glowing, laughing too loud, sticking to her mom like some doting daughter. Me? I was just trying to survive another night of her family's casual disrespect. Then I saw it. A name tag. My name tag. It had been placed neatly at my seat, written in big, bold letters, the disappointment. I froze. My stomach twisted. The room got smaller. And then I heard Madison's voice, sweet, condescending, amused. Well, it's true, she giggled, nudging her sister. You should see him at home. Total failure. Laughter. Actual laughter. From her family. Something snapped inside me. It wasn't anger. It was clarity. Like a fog lifting to show the wreckage I had been too blind to see. I reached for my glass of whiskey, tapped my knife against it, and stood. I'd like to make a toast, I said. The room quieted. Madison's father smiled, expecting some obligatory praise. I raised my glass. To the last time you'll ever see me. The air cracked with silence. Madison's eyes widened. She choked on her drink. Her mother gasped. Then I turned, walked out the door, and left behind one final gift, the truth. Because what Madison didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I already had proof of her affair. And they were about to find out in the most spectacular way possible. I walked out of that restaurant, but I didn't go home. Not yet. The weight of what just happened sat heavy in my chest, but it wasn't grief. It was something sharper. Cleaner. I had been drowning for months, maybe years, and now for the first time I could breathe. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Madison. Madison, what the hell was that? Where are you? I let it ring. Let her stew. She had no idea that I knew. No idea that her little secret wasn't a secret anymore. And soon, neither would her family. I drove to a bar, ordered a drink, and pulled out my phone. The screenshots were already there. Texts between her and him. She wasn't even careful. Late-night messages, cheap motel addresses, and photos, so many damn photos. I should have felt sick, but all I felt was rage. Not just at her, but at myself. How the hell had I let this happen? My phone buzzed again. Madison, you're acting insane. You embarrassed me in front of my family. Oh, I embarrassed her? That was rich? I sipped my drink and pulled up my email. I had drafted it earlier, a simple message. No explanations, no emotions. Just proof. Every screenshot, every disgusting detail attached and ready to go. One click and it would be sent to her parents, her siblings, her friends. Everyone she ever cared about. I hovered over the send button. Then my phone rang again. This time I answered. You should have thought twice before calling me a disappointment, I said, voice calm. There was silence on the other end. Then a scoff. Are you serious? That was a joke. No. A joke is when someone spills a drink on their lap. A joke is not putting a name tag on your husband that says he's a failure and laughing about it in front of your entire family. She sighed, exasperated. Oh my God, stop being so dramatic. You embarrassed me. Do you realize how crazy you looked storming out like that? My parents think you're unstable. I laughed. Actually laughed. Yeah? Well, let's see what they think when they see the real you. A pause. I could almost hear her heartbeat speeding up. What do you mean? I know, Madison. She was quiet. Then, finally, a soft, nervous laugh. You know what? I let the silence stretch, let the dread sink into her bones. And then I said the name. Ryan. Her sharp intake of breath was all the confirmation I needed. No more lies, Madison. I've got the texts. The photos. The motel bookings. And guess what? So will your family. Unless you have something very convincing to say right now. She stammered. I listen, it's not what you think. I hung up. Then I hit send. And just like that, Madison's world burned. I sat there watching the little sent notification on my screen. It felt good. Too good. Like finally pulling a knife out of your own back and using it to cut yourself free. Not even 5 minutes passed before my phone started blowing up. Madison first. Then her sister. Then her mom. Her dad. I ignored them all. But Ryan? Ryan was a different story. His number wasn't saved in my phone, but I knew it was him the moment the unknown number popped up. I picked up, let the silence stretch. Bro, we need to talk, he said. His voice was shaky, unsure. I smiled. We really don't. It's not what you think, man. Madison, she told me you guys were basically over. I chuckled. Yeah? That what she told you? You believe everything that comes out of her mouth. Silence. I could almost hear the gears turning in his head. I didn't know. Yeah, you did. He breathed heavy into the receiver. Look, I don't want problems with you. I took a sip of my drink, calm as ever. Then you should have stayed away from my wife. Before he could stammer out another excuse, I hung up. I wasn't interested in his regrets. That's when Madison called. This time I picked up. What the hell did you do? She screamed so loud my speaker crackled. I smirked. I don't know, babe. Maybe I just lived up to my name. The disappointment. You ruined my life. I laughed. No, Madison. You did that. I just let everyone see it. She was breathing fast, panicked. My dad just called me crying. My mom won't stop screaming at me. What the hell is wrong with you? Me? I asked, leaning back in my seat. I'm fine. You're the one who got caught sneaking off to motel rooms with Ryan, remember? It was a mistake, she shrieked. Yeah? I said. So was marrying you. She started sobbing, choking on her words. Please, can we talk about this? I didn't mean for it to happen, okay? You were just distant. I felt alone and Ryan was there and I barked out a laugh. You don't get to play the victim here, Madison. You got caught. That's all this is. If I hadn't found out, you'd still be meeting up with him, wouldn't you? More silence. That told me everything I needed to know. I don't love him, she whispered, desperate now. I love you. You love me. I repeated. Cool. Too bad I don't believe a single ****ing word you say anymore. She whimpered. Please, come home. Let's talk. Let's fix this. I shook my head even though she couldn't see me. Madison, I walked out that door tonight for a reason. And I'm not walking back in. She sobbed harder. Then what happens now? I smirked. You get to live with the consequences. Enjoy the party, sweetheart. Then I hung up. And for the first time in years, I felt free. I drove home in silence, letting the weight of everything sink in. The betrayal, the lies, the pathetic excuses, it was all out in the open now. There was no going back. When I pulled into the driveway, the house looked different. It wasn't home anymore. Just a place where I'd been played for a fool. Where Madison had snuck around, covering her tracks with fake smiles and empty kisses. I stepped inside, the air stale with memories I no longer wanted. Her perfume still lingered. The couch where we used to sit together, the kitchen where we laughed over late-night takeout, everything felt like a joke now. I grabbed a suitcase. The first thing I packed? My essentials. Clothes, documents, the things I actually needed. Everything else? Hers to deal with. She could sleep in the bed she tainted. As I zipped up the bag, my phone rang again. Madison. I let it go to voicemail. Then a text came through. Madison, I'm coming home. Please wait for me. We need to talk. She really thought there was something left to fix. I tossed my phone on the bed and went to the closet. Her side was full, dresses, heels, neatly arranged purses. I pulled one of them down, a designer bag I bought her for our anniversary. The thought made me laugh. A waste. Then something caught my eye. A shoebox on the top shelf, slightly ajar. I pulled it down, popped the lid, and my stomach dropped. Inside, neatly stacked, were hotel keycards. At least 10 of them. Different hotels. Different dates. Some from months ago. Some from last year. I stared at them, a numbness creeping into my chest. Madison hadn't just made a mistake. She had built an entire second life behind my back. Lied to my face every single day. And I had been too blind, too trusting, too stupid to see it. My phone buzzed again. Madison, I'm 5 minutes away. Please don't do anything stupid. I smirked. Too late. Grabbing my suitcase, I walked downstairs and sat on the couch waiting. Not for a conversation. Not for closure. Just to watch her break. The front door burst open and there she was, hair disheveled, mascara smudged, eyes frantic. Oh my God, you're still here. I leaned back, completely calm. Not for long. She rushed toward me, reaching for my hands. I pulled away. Listen, she pleaded. I know you're hurt, but can we just talk before you make any rash decisions? I tilted my head. Sure. Let's talk. Like, about this. I tossed the shoebox onto the coffee table. She froze. Blinked. Looked down. The color drained from her face. Where did you find that? She whispered. I chuckled. Wow, that's your first reaction? Not an apology, not an explanation, just shocked that I found your little trophy collection. She shook her head. It's not what it looks like. Oh, so you didn't sleep with multiple guys behind my back for over a year? She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I laughed, shaking my head. You know what? Don't even bother. I already wasted too much of my life on your bulls *****. I just wanted to see the look on your face when you realized the game was over. Tears filled her eyes. I can fix this. We can fix this. I stood up, grabbed my suitcase. You can't fix this, Madison. You never wanted to. You just wanted to keep getting away with it. She reached for me again. Please. I stepped back. Enjoy your freedom, babe. You earned it. Then I walked out the door. And this time I wasn't coming back. I stepped out into the night, the cool air hitting me like a slap to the face. It felt good. Fresh. Like I had just escaped a prison I didn't even know I was trapped in. I tossed my suitcase into the trunk, climbed into the driver's seat, and turned on the engine. In the rearview mirror, I saw Madison standing in the doorway, frozen. She looked small now. Powerless. Like a kid who just realized there were consequences for their actions. I didn't wait. I pulled out of the driveway and drove. She called 5 times before I even hit the highway. Each time, I let it ring. The 6th time, I picked up. What? I said flatly. Her voice was shaky, desperate. Where are you going? Away. Can we talk? Please? I exhaled sharply. Madison, you had a year to talk. Instead, you ed around and left souvenirs. She was quiet, probably realizing there was nothing she could say to fix this. Was it just Ryan? I asked suddenly. Or were there more? She hesitated. Too long. My grip on the steering wheel tightened. Jesus Christ. It didn't mean anything, she blurted out. I laughed. Oh yeah? That why you kept trophies? That why you had a whole collection of keycards like they were *****ing baseball cards? She sniffled. I don't know why I did that. Because you're a selfish, lying piece of I said, voice calm. That's why. She let out a broken sob. I don't want to lose you. I shook my head. Then maybe you should have thought about that before you spread your legs for half the city. Silence. A real, suffocating silence. Then her voice dropped to a whisper. Are you leaving me? I let the words sit between us. Let them sink in. Yeah, I said finally. I am. A sharp inhale. Like she had been holding onto some delusion that I would stay. That I would forgive her. You're making a mistake, she said suddenly, her tone shifting. You're throwing away our marriage over one mistake. I cut her off with a bitter laugh. One mistake? You cheated on me for a year. Multiple guys? Multiple times? You called me a disappointment to my face in front of your whole family while you were sneaking around like ing high schooler behind my back. That's not a mistake, Madison. That's a choice. Her breathing was erratic now. Panicked. Like she was really realizing that I was done. Where are you going? She asked again, voice small. Far away from you. Then I hung up. And this time she didn't call back. I kept driving, the city lights blurring past me. My hands were steady on the wheel, but inside, my mind was a hurricane. A whole damn year. She had played me for a fool for a whole year. And I had just taken it. Smiled through the lies, slept next to her, kissed her while she was sneaking off to some cheap motel with God knows who. I clenched my jaw and forced my thoughts elsewhere. No more wasting energy on her. No more wondering why. I pulled into a gas station, needing a break from the road. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as I filled up the tank. My phone sat on the passenger seat, dark and silent. Then it lit up. Madison. I sighed. What now? I ignored it, but a second later another notification popped up. This one made me stop. A text. From an unknown number. You should have kept your mouth shut. My pulse slowed. I stared at the screen, something cold settling in my stomach. I wasn't stupid. I knew what this was. Ryan. I exhaled through my nose, grabbed my phone, and typed back. Or what? No response. I smirked. That's what I thought. These guys were all the same. They loved sneaking around, but the second they got caught, they started acting tough. Like they were the ones who got screwed over. I put my phone down, finished fueling up, and got back on the road. But the feeling in my gut didn't go away. An hour later, I checked into a cheap motel, needing a place to crash for the night. As I walked into the room, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a photo. My house. Taken from the street. Whoever sent it was there. I stared at the screen, my heartbeat slow and steady. Then I laughed. These people had no idea who they were messing with. I sat on the motel bed, staring at the photo. My house, my driveway taken at night, just moments after I had left. The message that followed was simple. Come back. Let's talk. Ryan. Had to be. I leaned back, exhaling slow. This idiot thought he could scare me? Thought I'd come running home, afraid? I typed back. You want to talk? Come find me. No response. Of course. I tossed my phone on the nightstand and grabbed the whiskey bottle from my bag. Took a long sip. My head was clearer than it should have been. No anger, no panic, just a steady, sharp awareness. A few hours passed and nothing. No more texts. No calls. Just silence. I half expected Madison to try again, but maybe she was too busy doing damage control with her family. At 2 a.m. I finally lay down, staring at the ceiling, wondering how the hell I had let my life turn into this mess. Then, outside, a car engine. I sat up, my body tense. Listened. The tires rolled slow across the gravel, then stopped. Right outside my door. I stood, walked to the window, pulled the curtain back just enough. A black sedan. Headlights off. For a second, I thought it might be Madison. Some dramatic last-ditch effort to beg for forgiveness. But no. Madison wouldn't be sitting in a dark car at 2 a.m. waiting. Ryan. I smirked. He really thought this was a good idea? I grabbed the knife from my bag, just a precaution, and tucked it into my pocket. Then I opened the door. The night air was cool. The car sat there, unmoving. I stepped forward, arms loose at my sides. Calm. Controlled. The driver's side door cracked open. A figure stepped out. Ryan. Even in the dark, I could see he was jittery. His hands clenched into fists, his jaw tight. You're a real piece of you know that, he said. I chuckled. I could say the same about you. He stepped closer. You ruined her life. I raised a brow. That so? Pretty sure she did that all on her own. Ryan exhaled sharply, pacing like he was trying to psych himself up. He wasn't built for this. The guy had the confidence of a man who had never been punched in the face before. You should have just let it go, he muttered. I tilted my head. Let it go? You mean let my wife around behind my back while you two laughed about it? His jaw tightened. She was miserable. She said you were cold, that you didn't care about her anymore. I laughed, shaking my head. You really fell for that? You think you were the first? You think you were special? His nostrils flared. He took another step forward. And I let him. Then, before he could even think about making a move, I grabbed him by the collar and slammed him against the side of his car. His eyes went wide. The breath punched out of him. I leaned in close. You want to play tough guy? Fine. But let me give you a reality check. You're not built for this. He swallowed hard, his bravado cracking. You should have stayed in your lane, I said. But now? Now you get to live with the fact that she played you too. Just like she played me. He tried to shove me off, but it was weak. Pathetic. I let go and took a step back. Get in your car. Go home. And don't ever ing contact me again. For a second, he hesitated. Like he wanted to say something. Then he got in his car and drove off. I stood there, watching his taillights disappear into the night. Then finally, I went back inside. And for the first time in a long, long time, I slept like ing baby, I woke up to the sound of my phone vibrating against the nightstand. Sunlight streamed through the cheap motel curtains, burning my eyes as I sat up. Another call. Madison. I let it ring. Then a text. Madison, we need to talk. Please. I rolled my eyes and tossed the phone aside. Nothing she said mattered anymore. I took my time getting ready, showered, packed my bag. Grabbed a coffee from the vending machine outside. The motel parking lot was empty. No sign of Ryan or his pathetic attempt at intimidation. He must have finally realized that his tough guy act wasn't going to work. As I drove, my mind was clear for the first time in days. No second-guessing. No doubts. Just one simple fact, I was done with Madison. But as much as I wanted to walk away clean, there was still one thing left to handle. I pulled into the bank parking lot and headed inside. Good morning, sir, the teller greeted me. Morning. I need to withdraw everything from my joint account. Her polite smile faltered. Everything? Every last cent. She hesitated. Is your wife also on the account? She'd need to be present for a full A. I slid my ID across the counter. She isn't coming. Check the account activity, who's been making the deposits. She clicked around on her computer. Her eyebrows lifted slightly. Looks like it's been, primarily you. Exactly. It's my money. And I'm taking it. 20 minutes later, I walked out with a cashier's check for every dollar Madison thought she had access to. I got in my car, smirking. Let's see how long she lasts when she realizes she's broke. Before I even hit the next traffic light, my phone rang. Madison. I answered this time just to hear her break. Hey babe, I said, voice smooth. She hesitated, surprised I picked up. Aya, where are you? Know where you need to know about. Her voice was tight. Listen, I know you're mad, but can we just talk like adults? I chuckled. Madison, you don't get to cheat, humiliate me, and then ask for an adult conversation. You made your bed. Lie in it. A pause. Then cautiously, I went to the bank today. I grinned. Yeah? And what did you find? Silence. Then, in a voice on the edge of panic, she asked, where's our money? Our money. I repeated, amused. You mean my money? Because last I checked, you didn't contribute a damn thing to that account except for spending it. Are you ing kidding me? She shrieked. You emptied it? I leaned back in my seat, enjoying every second. Sure did. You can't do this, she screamed. That money is mine too. Nope, I said, stretching. It's mine. And I'm gonna spend it however I want. Maybe a vacation. Maybe a new apartment. Hell, maybe I'll take Ryan's mom out to dinner. She always liked me. You absolute piece of she spat. I grinned. Says the serial cheater. What's wrong, Madison? You didn't think there'd be consequences? Her breath was ragged. I'll take you to court. I laughed. Good luck with that. Want me to forward your parents those motel receipts again? I'm sure a judge would love to hear why a cheating wife thinks she deserves my money. Silence. Pure, delicious silence. Then her voice, barely a whisper. I hate you. I smiled. Good. Means I did something right. Then I hung up. And this time it was forever. I tossed the phone onto the passenger seat, exhaling slow. That was it. The last chain cut, the last word spoken. Madison was out of my life for good. I drove for a while, not really aiming anywhere, just letting the road stretch ahead of me. The air smelled cleaner. The world felt lighter. No more lies. No more gaslighting. No more coming home to a woman who looked at me like I was less. At some point, I pulled into a diner off the highway. One of those small places where the coffee was always burnt and the waitress called you Han. It was exactly what I needed. I sat at the counter, ordered black coffee and whatever breakfast special they had. My phone buzzed a few times, but I didn't check. I already knew who it was. Probably Madison, alternating between rage and desperation. Maybe Ryan trying to play tough again. Maybe her dad finally wanting to have a man-to-man talk now that he knew his precious daughter was a lying, cheating fraud. None of it mattered. The waitress, an older woman with tired eyes, poured me another cup. Rough morning. I smirked. More like a rough decade. But it's getting better. She nodded like she'd heard it all before. That's how it usually goes. Some people drag you through hell before you realize you can just walk away. I laughed. That's the truth. For the first time in forever, I felt it. Like I wasn't just saying it, I was really actually free. Then my phone buzzed again. I ignored it, but a few seconds later, the screen lit up. Not Madison. Not Ryan. A new message from an unknown number. Check your email? I frowned, staring at the screen. Something about it felt off. I hesitated, then opened my inbox. One new email. No subject line. Just an attachment. A video. I clicked on it. And everything stopped. The screen lit up with a grainy security cam feed. A motel parking lot. My motel. From last night. And right there, in the center of the frame, Ryan. Standing beside his car. Talking to someone. Someone I recognized. Madison. My stomach turned to stone. She wasn't crying. She wasn't panicked. She wasn't desperate. She was smiling. Talking. Laughing. Kissing him. And then they got into the car together and drove off. I stared at the screen, my pulse hammering. My mind trying to catch up. She wasn't devastated. She wasn't heartbroken. She never was. The phone buzzed again. Unknown number, still think you got the last laugh? A cold chill ran down my spine. I looked around the diner. Someone was watching me. I put the phone down slowly, my pulse steady but my mind racing. Someone had been there. Watching. Recording. And they wanted me to know it. The diner suddenly felt different. The hum of conversation, the clinking of plates, it all faded into the background. I scanned the room, every instinct screaming trap. Was it Ryan? Madison? Someone else entirely? I turned the phone over, staring at the message. Still think you got the last laugh? I wasn't rattled. I was pissed. They thought this was a game. That I'd be shaken. That I backed down. I took a slow sip of my coffee, pulled out my phone, and typed back. You're gonna have to try harder than that. 3 dots appeared. Whoever they were waiting for me. Unknown number, you shouldn't have emptied that account. I smirked. There it is. Madison was behind this. She must have run to Ryan after realizing she was broke and now they were playing some pathetic intimidation game. I typed back. You two enjoy living off Ryan's paycheck. If he even has one. No response. I put the phone down, finished my coffee, and waved the waitress over. Everything okay, Han? She asked, eyeing me curiously. I grinned. Perfect. Just tying up some loose ends. I paid my bill, left a generous tip, and walked out. Once I was in my car, I opened the video again. Madison. Ryan. The motel. The way they laughed. The way she kissed him. Like she hadn't spent the whole night begging me to come back. Like I had never mattered at all. I exhaled slowly. No anger. No sadness. Just clarity. Madison thought she had control. That she could manipulate, lie, cheat, and still come out on top. She had no idea that I wasn't just playing defense. I was about to go on the attack. And when I was done, she wouldn't have a single thing left. I pulled onto the highway, the weight of the situation settling in. Madison thought she could play games, thought she could keep twisting the knife even after I walked away. She was wrong. I knew exactly how to end this. First, I made a stop at a lawyer's office. A guy I'd been recommended by a friend, specialized in divorces with cheaters involved. Madison thought she was going to drag me through court? Not happening. With the evidence I had, the texts, the motel receipts, the video, she wouldn't be walking away with a damn thing. And as for Ryan? He was about to get a little surprise of his own. I made a few calls, pulled some strings. I knew a guy who knew a guy. By the end of the day, Ryan's employer was getting an anonymous tip about his extracurricular activities with a married woman. Hope he enjoyed job hunting. By evening, I was back at a hotel, a much nicer one than the last. I ordered room service, poured myself a drink, and watched as the messages kept rolling in. Madison had finally cracked. Madison, what the hell did you do? Ryan just lost his job. Madison, you're a vindictive piece of s******. Madison, answer me. I smirked, took a sip of whiskey, and let her scream into the void. Then finally, I typed back. You should have stayed loyal. Silence. For the first time, she had nothing left to say. I leaned back, exhaling slow. The weight was gone. The anger, the betrayal, it didn't matter anymore. Madison? Ryan? They were just footnotes in a life I was already moving past. Tomorrow, I'd meet with my lawyer, file for divorce, and make sure Madison walked away with nothing. And me? I'd walk away free. And that was the real last laugh.